You know when you really want to do something, like really want to do it, something that you really care about, you want to lose weight, you want to get fitter, you want to start a business, you want to eat, and yet nothing happens. You really want it, but it's like nothing is happening. I need you to understand this ADHD is you are not lazy, you're not undisciplined, you're not trying hard enough. There is no issue with motivation. What there is an issue with is how you think about motivation and not understanding motivation from the lens of ADHD. And that is what I'm going to share with you today. How to create your motivation motor, trademark Lucy Cook, because that is my idea. If anyone steals it, you know you heard it here first. So that you can get after and stay consistent with whatever you want. Like I'm going to really talk about this as, of course, being a fitness coach in the context of weight loss and fitness, but you can apply it to anything that you want to achieve in life. This is the beauty of this motor. It can change your life. So please stick around, take notes. This is one to take notes, whether it's on your phone, on a piece of paper, because this system will change your life. And I do not say that lightly. I do not say that to exaggerate the truth. It will. It's changed my life. It's changed my client's life. And it's about to change your life. But speaking of life change, let me just take you back a little bit, because I used to think that motivation was like a personality trait. You either had it or you didn't. And I was very confused growing up, because there were some parts of my life where I was very motivated. I was very driven. I would get after it. You didn't need to ask me twice. It was done yesterday. There were so many parts of my life where that was the case. But then on the flip side, there were so many things that I found really hard. Like I wanted to do it, but I just couldn't do it. I don't know. It just felt like I was running into a brick wall. You know those nightmares, those dreams where you're trying to get somewhere and you just can't get anywhere. And it's like, that's what it felt like. So it was really confusing for me, because it's not like I was that person that just didn't do anything or had any drive. Like I did, but in other areas of my life, things felt really, 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 really hard. And if you have ADHD, you might resonate, right? You might resonate that there's some parts of your life where you can just do that shit, right? It doesn't take any level of it comes so naturally, but there's other things. Maybe it's the gym, maybe it's housework, maybe it's parts of your job that just feel so freaking hard. And it isn't that you don't care enough, it's that you don't understand the fuel that you need to stay motivated. And that is what I'm going to explain to you today. And this is what's also going to potentially give you lots of light bulbs as to why you can be so driven and take action in some things, but other things feel really hard. So let's get stuck in. Now, when it comes to ADHD, the reason that I like to use the idea of like a motor is that I like to see motivation as a car engine, right? A car engine needs the right fuel, right? If you put petrol into a diesel, it's not going to work. And I like to think of that a bit like a neurodivergent or neurotypical brain, right? You put the wrong fuel in, it ain't going to work, right? So I like to think of like this idea of like, you know, just be more disciplined, just try harder, just put the effort in, you know, as putting in the wrong fuel, as putting the petrol into the diesel, right? It's incompatible. It might move for a little bit, but it's not enough. We want to put the right thing in. So this idea of just try harder, just work harder is never going to work, right? And in the context of fitness, right, so much is that, right? It's coaches, it's PTs, just, and you know, slimming club leaders, slimming cult leaders, I like to call them, just saying that, right? Just be consistent, just tick your boxes. If you want it bad enough, it doesn't work like that, okay? That fuel ain't working for your tank. So we need to use the fuel that's going to work for you. Introducing, and I'm going to put a big sexy graphic on the screen, my motivation model. It's not very sexy, is it? I made that myself. It doesn't look great. Stick to the day job, Lucy. But I'm going to explain these elements to the motor model and how you can leverage them. And again, like I said, I'm going to talk about it in the context of health and fitness, but you can use it for everything and everything. But before you use and abuse my model to change your life, the one little thing that I do ask is make sure that you hit like on this video, please. If you aren't already, subscribe, because the numbers are not adding up in terms of the subscribers and the viewers, and it really would mean a lot so that I can keep making these videos, because I get nothing from these videos, right? I do it because I want to bring you guys value, but the more that you give me, the more that I can give you. All right? Okay, little ask over, let's move on. So the first fuel source for your neurodivergent brain is urgency, right? Urgency is, for me, like something that gives you like a massive push. It's like a propeller, right? It's not something that you should rely on because it can create a lot of pressure. But ADHD brains are notoriously terrible when it comes to things being in the distant, right? Like, oh, next week, you've got a deadline next month. ADHD brains respond to urgency, which is why you might be someone who, you know, could literally write a whole essay the night before, tidy your entire house 10 minutes before someone's coming around, right? You might be going, oh, yeah, I can relate to that. So if you can create urgency on your journey, you will be more likely to take action, right? And you want to be mindful about this because you don't want to put, immense amounts of pressure on yourself by saying, I've got 3 weeks to lose a stone and, things like that. But think where you can do it. So maybe you do set a deadline if I'm doing like a 10-week diet phase and have a countdown. But even things like booking a PT session, because that urgency to show up to the session is there, booking a class. Some ways that you can create urgency is just telling people that you're going to do something, right? The power of telling someone, I'm going to go to the gym, it creates urgency. I make my clients book everything into their calendar. That creates urgency rather than, I'll get to the gym later. When is later? It never happens, right? 5 p.m. or you've got to be back for this time. Like, I find it really, really, really helps. Something that I've actually found has really helped me recently with my productivity in the gym is going first thing, because then I need to be back for like a call at, 9 a.m. So if I go super early, I'm like, to go, and it really works. So create urgency on your journey. The next thing is to create challenge and like gamification, right? So challenge, gamifying, making it fun. ADHD brains love a challenge. ADHD brains are quite competitive. Are you competitive? I'm competitive, like very, very, very competitive. If something feels really, 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 really boring, if something feels really, really repetitive, you ain't gonna do it. So what you need to make sure that you're doing is doing things that challenge you a little bit. So beating your reps, tracking your workouts, maybe even entering competitions. So this can also work for urgency, like entering a 10K race, right? Those things can do it. And something that can work really well is like gamifying it, making it novel, making it fun. So a lot of my clients will do things like points challenges. So things like, if you go to the gym 10 times, you get a reward. So it's making it fun, almost like seeing it as like a bit of a game. Like, if you think of it like a video game where you've got the next level and you need, each one gets a bit more challenging, that's what keeps it fun. If every, level was the same, it would be boring, right? But then also you get that sense of dopamine when you complete the challenge and you win, you get the points and the prizes. And so you need to think about, it sounds childish, but it freaking works, okay? So if you've got like a steps challenge at work, do it. Like, these things, they work. Like, I'm really tempted to do, just one thing I'm thinking of doing to keep me motivated with running is there's online virtual like running race things where you can get medals, and there's some really cool ones like Harry Potter and Disney. So that's exciting. That's gamifying it, right? Is it childish that I want a medal with Winnie the Pooh on it? Yeah, but is it keeping me motivated? Yeah. So all these little things. On that note, I kind of threw in the words novelty there, but yes, novelty. Now, when we think of novelty and changing things up, that is usually like shit on in the fitness world. Like, no, just be consistent, eat the same things, do the same things. And yeah, consistency is key, but consistency does not mean the same thing day in, day out. And I'll say that again, consistency does not mean doing the exact same thing day in, day out, day in, day out. It's boring. And there might be elements of your neurodivergence that like that. Like, I pretty much eat the same 3 meals on repeat 90% of the time. I'm fine with that. I like that. Remove the decision fatigue. It actually helps. But when I get bored of that, so one thing I do to actually stop me getting bored is I have, like, on a Saturday night, which is tonight, I have a different dinner. When I get bored of my workouts, rather than just telling myself, no, just grind through, I will change them. Because what matters more is doing the thing that gets the result rather than it being optimal, right? Is following the exact same progressive workout plan the most optimal thing to get you results? Yes. But is it more optimal to change it when you need it so that you actually go to the fucking gym? Yes, right? So think about ways that you can inject novelty into it to give you dopamine, right? It could be changing up your workouts, changing up your gym environment, new meals, even just little things like getting yourself a new bowl or a pan. Like, I get so excited when I have like a new bowl to eat out of. So just little things like that on your journey will go a long way. The next thing is interest. You have to enjoy what you are doing, right? It's so easy to see what everyone else is doing and jump on the trends and jump on what you should be doing and what a coach has told you is the right thing to do. But I've learned this myself. If I don't like the thing, it becomes an uphill battle. So if I don't like that meal plan, I'm not sticking to it. If I don't like that way of exercising, I'm not sticking to it, right? So you have to find a way of doing it that you enjoy, right? So with food, you should genuinely enjoy, even if you are dieting, even if your calories are not super high, you should still really enjoy the foods that you are eating, right? Every single meal you should look forward to. And if you don't, change it, right? You absolutely can. You absolutely should. With exercise, yes, the gym is great, but if you don't enjoy the gym, don't go to the gym, right? I know everyone's doing running and high rocks and Pilates at the moment, but if you don't enjoy them, don't do them. I fundamentally believe there is a way of eating that is healthy and nutritious that works for everyone. I fundamentally believe there is a way of exercising and moving your body that is enjoyable. Like, if I think about my family, we all move our body in very different ways. Like, I go to the gym and run. My dad does paddle and runs a little bit. My mum would never run in her life. She enjoys going to classes and swimming. My little sister plays football, right? So my brother does the gym, and like, everyone does different things. Doesn't matter. We're all keeping active in a way that we enjoy. If we all try to do the same thing, it won't work, right? So do what you enjoy. It has to feel somewhat fun and enjoyable to you. So if you ain't enjoying it, find something that you do and it will help massively. And then the final and probably most important fuel to your motivation motor, and this is what I like to call it your reserve fuel, right? It should underpin everything that you do, and you need to come back to it when you are maybe feeling a bit flat, and that is importance. Why are you doing this? Because the importance is usually what gets you started, right? So for example, if you're, starting a weight loss journey because you don't feel confident in your body or you want to be healthier, that is important to you, and that's probably why you started, right? I'm trying to think about other things, like when I started this business, right? It was because it was important to me to help neurodivergent people the way it's helped me and get them out of this cycle. And over time, you forget that why, right? Come back to your why, but we do. It gets lost on the journey. And your why is usually very powerful. It either usually gives you a fire up your ass or maybe makes you feel a bit sad or whatever. And that emotion is fuel, right? So if you are feeling flat and you thought about all those other factors and variables like urgency and dopamine, novelty, all that stuff, and you're still not quite feeling able to do it, come back to your why, the deep why, not the surface level why of I just want to be a size 8 or I want to run a 5K. The why that probably makes you feel scared. The why that gives you fire, makes you angry, passionate, whatever it is. It's usually a very strong emotion on the positive or negative scale, but come back to that because that will give you a rocket up your ass. If I'm ever feeling a bit flat in work, like, oh God, I've got all this work to do. And, I do feel like that sometimes. I'm a human being. I remember why I started this business and I'm like, bam. I don't necessarily now because I don't really have a big deep why for my fitness journey. But when I, first started, I would come back to it and be like, bam, right? I no longer want to feel this way, so let's get after it, right? So really think about those things, those fuels that will get you going, all right? Now, knowing how to fuel your engine is one thing, but actually learning how to create your own that works in a way to keep you consistent, that allows you to achieve whatever you want, is another thing. And that is exactly the work I do inside my coaching, inside my Wired to Thrive program and inside my one-to-one coaching. So if you've listened to this and you're like, hell yeah, this all makes sense, but I actually want a bit of help making it happen, well, quite a lot of help making it happen, I will leave all the links to my coaching support services in the link if you are interested. And what I want you to now do is to go and create a resource. Don't just listen to this and go, that was great. I actually want you to go and write down just a few things that you could do for each of those elements of your motivation model. And when you are feeling flat, that you can't be asked, come back to it and think, what am I missing? What do I need to inject? And I promise you, if you use these 5 factors all the time or when you need them, you will stop the inconsistency and you will always be motivated. Over and out for today, guys. Have a wonderful, fantastic, amazing rest of your day, whatever it looks like for you. And now you have everything that you need to smash your day out and stay motivated. So go freaking get it.